Good morning, viewers. Today is Gandhi Jayanti, and I am present before you with the podcast on Ahimsa in daily life. Today's podcast is an article written by Professor P. Krishna, who happens to be associated with Vasantika College for Women, Rajghat, one of the oldest institutions of women education. He also has been the secretary of Krishnamurti Foundation of India, Rajghat Education Center. So let's see what Professor P. Krishna has to say about Ahimsa in daily life. Ahimsa or non-violence in daily life is not merely a matter of deciding not to hit or kill another. That is just the outer manifestation of a feeling of anger or hatred within our consciousness. So long as such feelings arise within us, we are not truly non-violent. Just because we are able to control the outer manifestation of it through our will. So, if one wants to be truly non-violent, we must examine the cause of anger or hatred within us and see if it is possible to eradicate that. So long as the cause exists, the effect will appear, and controlling the effects will only produce a conflict between what is and what should be, which is a subtler form of violence within oneself. Therefore, instead of positing what should be and forcing oneself to live up to it, it is more important to understand what is. We think that what is undergoes a change if we fight against it and decide not to be that way. But a little investigation reveals that the state of anger or hatred does not disappear because of our decision or wish. Indeed, our decisions work only in very superficial matters. One can decide what to wear, what to eat, or which language to learn. But we cannot decide to love, to be peaceful and happy, or to stop worrying. Reason and will can undo what reason and will have created, but they cannot change a state that we were not reasoned into. The cause of anger, fear, violence, and hatred lies much deeper in our consciousness, and the field of reason and argument does not reach there. So, if we really want to be free of the cause of anger, division, and hatred within us, we need to learn about them by watching these within ourselves. From where do they arise, how do they grow, and what they do to our life. In so observing and learning about oneself, there is the possibility of a deeper insight into the problem, which may eliminate the cause. The Buddha taught that ignorance is the cause of sorrow. Ignorance not as lack of knowledge, but as illusion in the mind. Illusion is just a mental construct which one accepts as true because one has never imagined and examined it. It is born of imagination and has no existence in nature. Therefore, it is a non-fact. Illusion can also arise from giving excessive importance to something which in reality has very little or no importance in life. The problem is that the mind that has an illusion is not aware that it has an illusion because it takes that to be true. Such illusions lie at different levels of our consciousness. At the most superficial level, they are in the nature of superstitions. These can be dispelled even by scientific or intellectual inquiry. Then there are cultural illusions which lie deeper in our consciousness, such as our particular concept of God, our feeling of patriotism, our attitude towards the opposite sex, and so on, all of which we imbibe imperceptibly through a form of osmosis from the environment in which we grow up. It gives us a sense of identity and of moral values which differ from one culture to another. They divide people, make them feel we are very different from them, though that may not be a fact. The Buddha said, "The other man is yourself," but it does not seem so to us. It is our illusions that divide us, not facts, for facts by definition are the same for everyone. Imaginations and opinions about the facts differ and divide us. Out of that division comes hatred, and out of that hatred comes violence. So, to end violence and hatred in oneself, one must end illusion that is the source of all this disorder in our consciousness. Fortunately, illusion can be ended by discerning what is true and what is false, because when one perceives the false as the false, it ends. Facts cannot be ended, but illusions, being imaginary things, can be ended. Since the disorder in our consciousness arises from illusions, it can be ended. But order cannot be imposed upon disorder through discipline. Such a disciplined order is still disorder because the illusion has not been eliminated. This quest for the ending of disorder in consciousness is the true religious quest beyond all forms of traditional religion. It is the quest for self-knowledge and is the key to wisdom. Socrates said that there is only one virtue, and it is order in consciousness. The quest for truth in this area is really an unlearning process, unlearning the false within our consciousness. To do that, one has to become a student of oneself and learn not so much from books written by others, but through one's own observation of the way our consciousness operates in daily life. I is constantly revealing itself to us in our relationship with people, with property, and with ideas. If only we have the eyes to see and a learning mind that lives with questions rather than conclusions, we can learn through observing ourselves. Violence is born out of our attachment to our own opinion and conclusion and a sense of pride in them. To have learning mind is to know that one does not know the truth and to be in a constant state of inquiry. Then every disorder one encounters in one's consciousness is a fresh opportunity to learn and end the illusion from which it arises. Without such self-learning, which discerns what is true and what is false, one does not grow in wisdom and therefore does not change fundamentally. All true change is a byproduct of such deep learning. The rest is only control and adaptation. It is not freedom. I am afraid there is no shortcut to nonviolence. The practice of a pre-formulated ideal of nonviolence is not real nonviolence. It is an illusion to think that one will gradually become nonviolent through the practice of certain methods and techniques. If one says it will take 10 years to gradually become nonviolent, one is giving oneself the license to remain violent for 10 more years. It is not a matter of practice, it is a matter of perception. One does not perceive truth gradually. Either one has perceived it or one has not. Time does not help us to perceive. Time just passes, irrespective of whether we perceive or do not. If we do not perceive the truth, we continue to live with the illusion and nothing changes substantively. The feeling of gradual progress is an illusion. Our history of the last 3,000 years is a history of battles and wars. It will not change with more time. It will only change when we learn to look at the other human being differently, irrespective of where he or she was born, what they eat, or how they pray. We are trained into rivalry. The truth is, we are brothers and the same laws of nature have given birth to all of us. When we realize that truth, the violence will end. It can happen at this moment, or it may not happen for another 3000 years. That is up to us. So, this was a very insightful article by Professor P. Krishna, and I am very glad to share with all of you today on Gandhi Jayanti. Please leave your comments. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click on the bell icon for latest update. Develop the attitude of non-violence, compassion, and love in your being, and see the change around you. Thank you for your valuable time. Here's wishing you a great day ahead.